Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Pain Heart and Home Healing After Loss. Yes, you read the title right. I am pregnant. Um, Gosh, I can't even believe I'm I'm saying that out loud. I kind of wanted to just hop on and just give all of my followers and supporters and just the people around me that have just been supporting me through every step of these crazy few years. Just like a really raw update of where we are. I'm sure I'll be talking on, my social media as to, in increments of time, what this all feels like. But, this is very new right now. I'm only, at the time of recording this, I'm only somewhere in between the 7-8 weeks pregnant range. So it's early. But I am in full force pregnancy mode. I have all the symptoms. I have all the morning sickness, all the daily nausea, the exhaustion, all the things. But on top of it, of course, comes the fear, having had a stillbirth, having lost my baby full term before. Being pregnant again is a very, very different feeling. I am just as excited, but I would be lying if I didn't say that my past experience is all that's in the forefront of my mind right now. But it's interesting because I have worked, as you guys know, I have worked very hard on my healing, emotionally, physically too, but spiritually, mentally, like all of these things. I have worked really, really hard at my healing. And so I am actually, I think, in a better spot mentally and emotionally than I thought I would be when I found out I was pregnant again. And I'm just going to use that as a little plug to encourage you all who have lost a baby or just had loss or trauma in any way, shape, or form, that like when you work on it, like when you really, really work on it, and you are serious about your healing and you're serious about your growth and all of these things, like it can make a difference, because I can almost guarantee you that I wouldn't be this peaceful or this, not fearful had I not been so serious about my healing. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have any fears. I'm not saying that I don't flash forward to the day I have to give birth and my heart doesn't start racing because of all of the fears that pop into my head. I am still very early on. So there's a lot of time for a lot of fear and things to creep in. Of course, I'm not going to expect that. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen, but I feel differently now than I thought I would, previously to finding out that I am pregnant. So quick story about how I found out. I mean, Rick and I were trying. You guys know I've been vocal about it. We were obviously trying, and for lack of a better way of explaining it, I'll just say we were trying really hard, and we were very diligent about it. And so I wasn't like surprised when I took a test, but for some reason it still like shocked me. I knew I was going to be pregnant because we've never tried as hard as we did this time around, like for the last couple months. So I wasn't surprised, but somehow I was still shocked, if that makes any sense. I was alone in my bathroom. It was literally like the first day that I could test, and I tested and it popped up right away. And I'll probably share that raw footage with you guys soon, of me like taking the test and finding out for the first time. And then, of course, Rick always struggles with sleep. Like, I shouldn't say always, but on and off he struggles with sleep. And this just so happened to be the one morning that he had a rough night the night before, so he was like sleeping in. And it wasn't even that late. It was like 7:15, but he was sleeping in longer than normal. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like freaking out. So I woke him up and I was like, I'm sorry, like I have something like urgent, like that I need your help with, like it's time sensitive. And he's like, okay. And he's like trying to wake up, and I'm like, okay, like, are you awake enough? Like, can I tell you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I just like, just held up the pregnancy test, and he's like, what? Are you serious? And again, it's not like we were surprised, but still it's like that initial shock. So there was no glamorous way of telling him. We both were like, all we've been thinking about lately is trying to get pregnant. So I couldn't wait another second. I had to tell him right away. There was no time to come up with any fancy like reveal or anything like that. So, but in our own way, it was, special. And I did get all that on camera too. So I'll probably share some of that raw footage. But yeah, I think I think a lot of this feeling of not having a lot of fear at this point is, one, because I've worked on this healing journey, but two is a lot of the innocence of the people around me. Like, first of all, like when we told the kids, like not once did they hesitate. Not once did they say like, well, what if the same things happens again? Like what if what happened to Layla like happens to this baby, or like what if, like none of that. And that really, like, I think is helping me heal, like that innocence of their pure heart. They're just pure excitement for this pregnancy. It kind of has helped me look at it in that way. Because as devastating as it was, what we went through with Layla, like I would still choose what we went through, and rather than not having become pregnant. Absolutely. It was devastating. It was traumatic. It was horrific, but I would still choose it because I loved her. And so when I remind myself of that, I can remind myself that no matter what the outcome of this pregnancy is, I still would choose to have this pregnancy over not. And that is, I think, what is keeping my heart at peace, is because I know trauma. I know, tragedy and devastation. I know it. I've touched it. I've lived it. I've breathed it. And somehow I would still choose that life over not, because of that deep, deep love. And so that's how I feel. And that's what I'm focusing on now through this pregnancy. Like I said, I'm sure it will have its fears. And the other thing that I was going to say is like just the support of the people around me. Telling people this time around, it just hit different. People were super excited the first time around because it had taken so long and whatever. But, there's this sensitivity of telling people this time. It was a little bit more tender. It was a little bit more, I don't even know what the word is. I think tender is the right word. But again, nobody looked at me and was like, oh, like, are you okay? Like nobody did that. And it's like, again, it's just knowing that there's already so much love for this baby. Even if I found out tomorrow that I miscarried, like even if I found that out, there was already so much love for this baby. And I really don't think that's going to happen. Like I have a piece about this. I have no idea what's going to happen, but it doesn't matter. And that's something that I've really learned. Of course I want all the things to happen. Like I want all the best things. I want a healthy pregnancy and a healthy and safe birth and a great delivery. And I want all those things. But man, there's just something deep inside of me that through this healing journey that I have learned that no matter what happens, that it's going to be okay. That life moves forward, and that ultimately, like we can't control everything. And we can only do what we can do with the things that are in front of us in this moment, in this day. And, so I am weirdly at peace. I am super excited. Like I said, I have my moments, my little nuggets of fear, but man, I'm weirdly at peace, and I'm excited to bring you guys along for this journey. Like I said, I'm sure I'll go through, I'm sure I will go through seasons of maybe more worrisome and maybe more peace, whatever that looks like. And I definitely will bring you guys along for this journey. And the other thing is, I was at the doctor's the other day, and, they have not given me a reason for Layla's loss. They don't know. According to them, there was no real reason. But I'm definitely going to do some of my own research this time around, because I'm not a first-time pregnant person anymore. This is my second time, so I know what pregnancy is supposed to look like and feel like now, and all of those things. But it doesn't quite sit right with me that nobody has any answers for me. So I will definitely be doing more of my own research this time around. because that will help me know that, like, okay, I did everything I possibly could this time, because last time I was so ignorant. I was so ignorant to what pregnancy was supposed to look like, feel like, sound like, the whole thing, because it was my first time. I had no idea, and the doctors sure as heck were not educating me enough. And so this time I'm kind of going to take things into my own hands in the sense, or in regards to maybe researching and seeing if I can figure out on my own as to what happened, or as to some underlying problem that could have been, and all those things. Because for a long time, I didn't feel ready to do that. I didn't feel ready to go and explore and look at these things, and it was too hard. But now I'm like, okay, well, I'm in it, like, I'm doing it again. So if there's anything that I can do within my own power, like, I'm going to research it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to, figure out what I can do and do it all. So I don't know what I'm going to find. I could find nothing. And that could be truly the case. I could come up with nothing. And if that's the case, I'm not going to, I can't sit and be angry and frustrated at it, because it doesn't change the past. It doesn't change what happened. I can only do what I can do, and I can't allow myself to, stress about the things that I can't. So anyways, all that to say, I'm excited. I am interested to see how it goes bringing the baby stuff back out, because a lot of things that I have were my daughter's. They were hers. So we'll see how that whole thing goes. I'll probably end up keeping a lot of things that were hers, like, completely separate, and not using them, because there's so much emotion and, honestly, like, trauma tied up in them, and I don't think that would be healthy to put that on this new baby. Because one thing that I constantly tell myself every day is, like, this is not the same. This is not the same baby, because that's something I wrestled with when I found out I was pregnant. Is, like, I literally had to, like, convince my mind, like, this is not her. Like, this doesn't mean she's coming back. Like, this is a completely separate baby, a completely separate child, a separate pregnancy. This is different. And, like, when you suffered loss like that, that's kind of really, it sounds silly, but that's really hard for your mind to, like, wrap its head around, is making sure that your mind knows this is not the same child. And so I wrestled with that. And anyways, I think keeping a lot of her stuff separate will help with that. Because that is something that I do struggle with on a daily basis. So, but I am finding ways of, like, including her in this journey. And, I feel her love. I feel her excitement. I always cry when I'm alone. I feel her excitement. I feel her warmth. Like, I feel her with us, like, doing this. I feel, because there's a little bit of that guilt. There's a little bit of that, like, is she going to feel replaced? Is she going to feel like she wasn't enough? Like, and it's just so funny, because even if she was here, like, she was be a child who can't comprehend those feelings, but anyways, but I don't feel like that. I feel her love and her excitement. And I can't wait to just, like, include her in any way that we can with this baby's life. So anyways, I just wanted to pop on and give you guys that update in real time. Thank you for being here along this journey with us. It has been an insane 2.5 years with our loss and Rick's, my health struggles, and then Rick's extreme health struggles and his multiple surgeries. And, I finally feel like we were catching our breath and coming up for air. And then I found out I was pregnant, and it's so exciting. Don't get me wrong. But, going back to me feeling sick all the time, like, it's been a long, exhausting, handful of years. Oh, and not to mention the custody of the kids. Like, it's just been a whirlwind, and it's been never ending, but it's a full life. It's exciting. We're moving forward. My husband's doing amazing things now that he's healthy. And so we've just never given up. We've had multiple opportunities to give up, and we never have. We've stuck together through it all. We've put our health and then family above everything else, and it's really paying off for us. So anyways, thank you for being along the ride with me and for following along our journey. I'm super excited for this pregnancy, and I appreciate your support and your love and your prayers and all the things. So anyways, there's the update. Thank you for being excited with me. And I can't wait to do this together. So, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to leave reviews, comments, likes, all the things. I can't wait to chat with you all again really soon. Signing off for now, your Hope Dealer, Emmy Smaz.